What's shaking, everybody? Hope you had yourselves a fantastic Wednesday. Looking forward to a great podcast tonight. Yes, some more Connor McDavid talk because the general manager did a media availability, took a few questions about McDavid and such. Connor's had some comments as well in the last couple of days, so we are going to dig into that as well as preview some training camp action. And as you saw in the title there, Ray Ferraro is going to check in. Now, the Ray and Dregs Hockey Podcast set to get going this week, so we'll talk a little bit about that and get some of Ray's thoughts on all things going on around the league and with the Edmonton Oilers in particular. Jason Strudwick standing by as well. Really happy you joined us on this Wednesday night. Looking forward to a great show. As always, it is brought to you by our brand new proud title sponsor, Timber House Developments. Dream, design, build, service. It's the commitment to process that helps their team create some of the finest custom homes in Edmonton. If you're thinking of a garden suite, infill development, or a fully custom home, talk to Timber House. They know what they are doing. If you can dream it, they can build it. The website is timberhouse.ca. Coming at you from the Timber House studio as well. Can't wait. The crews are going to come in and redo this whole set behind me. It's going to be sharp. It's going to be fresh. It's going to be biophilic. It's going to have all those Timber House traits that you know and love and that we've talked about so often here on the pod. Great to have Timber House on board as title sponsor. So we check in with Jason Strudwick, and for the first time in Season 5, our boy Steve Taylor as well manning the controls in Kelowna as Chris Sabunia is on a rescue mission out to Vancouver. We'll hear a little bit more about that in just a few minutes. But Steve-O, how are you doing, my friend? How was your summer?
Yeah, doing great. Great summer. Had a really good time. A lot of fun trips. Went out to Tofino. That was fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Some
nice highlights.
That's beautiful country out there, Struddy. You ever done? You must have gone surfing out in Tofino, Struddy. That's right in your wheelhouse. Muted, big guy. Muted. Good start, Struds. Good start.
No, I thought I was there 2 years ago. I love that place. Tofino is incredible. Just the islands, just awesome. Absolutely awesome place to be.
Did you surf, Steve, or what'd you do out there, buddy?
Yeah, I surfed, and you know what's so nice about it there? I've surfed in Hawaii before, where it's like there's reef and you're paddling the whole time, and you're trying to tread water, and you're getting motion sick, and you're chugging water. But there, it's just like you stand waist deep in the sand, wait for a good wave to come in, and then just ride it. It's so easy. It's so fun.
Yeah.
That's where you learn to surf.
My only surfing experience, Randy and I went to Costa Rica a number of years ago, and we had somebody come out and try and teach us in the water. And Struds, it was not good, buddy. The athleticism required to hop up on the board and stay up on the board, the quad strength, I think just basic human quad strength I was lacking a little bit too. We have one picture of that experience that stands out. It's me completely upside down in the air. Not an ounce of me is touching the water, and I'm not on the surfboard. That is my defining memory of me trying to surf.
Yeah, it's tough, and I've tried it many times. And I love keep trying. A lot of times I body surf. I do like that. I don't know if I'm too big or too heavy to get up on the board. Like, my kids can get up pretty easy, but I've been trying to surf for 20, 25 years, and I'm sure there are big guys that do it, but I can't find it. I guess I only do it once every 2 years. That's not enough.
Probably not.
Yeah. You got to dig in a little bit more than that. Well, Steve, really happy to have you back on board for Season 5, my friend. Looking forward to a great year between Got Your Back and Struddy's World and the Ray and Dregs Hockey Podcast. You'll be a big part of it all, and great to see you, my man.
Awesome to be here. Thanks, boys.
Okay, going to be a good show tonight. Ray Ferraro is going to join us shortly here. We're going to talk some Oilers today. They got together for their medicals. Nobody on ice actually doing drills and such, Struds, but some media availabilities today. I'm kind of calling a bit of an audible right now. There's some Connor McDavid content that we do have to go over, but I think we're going to save that for when Ray hops in with us. I think people have probably had a lot of that over the last couple of days, a lot of it again through the day today. We are going to deal with it because it is very important. But Struds, I want to dig in a little bit to some of what else we heard today as far as Oiler news and notes go, and then we will get to the Connor McDavid stuff with Ferraro. So let's get to our breakdown, shall we? Brought to you by our brand new partners at the Canadian Brew House. During every Oiler game day, the Canadian Brew House is your hockey headquarters. Enter to win Oiler home game tickets and sip $1 off tankards of Molson Canadian and Coors Lights only at the Brew House. 30-plus beers on tap. 50-plus TVs at all locations, and they're everywhere. And, of course, the largest rooftop patios in Canada. They know how to do it right down at the Canadian Brew House. Struds, Zach Hyman's update. Let's start there. As we get to the Weiss Johnson soundbox, Zach Hyman making it pretty crystal clear he's not putting a firm date on things. Here's a couple of clips from him.
Yeah, I feel great. Obviously, no more cast. Moving great. Won't be ready for day one in training camp, but progressing really, really well.
How far into training camp do you foresee yourself playing any preseason games?
I've had major surgery before with the knee, and whenever you set a timeline or a date, you often get disappointed if you don't hit that date. And then you tell people what the date is, and if the date comes and you're not ready for that date, then it's disappointment. So for me internally with the group, we have little 2-week blocks milestones that we check off and that we hit. And right now we are progressing very well.
What do you think, Struds? What do you make all that?
Well, I mean, I think he's very upbeat. And I think that we're going to take him at his word. I'll take him at his word that he will be ready quite soon. I don't think there's any reason to be worried about it. And the good thing about it being a hand is that he is able to train his entire body, and the important part of his body is, I guess, like core down all summer. As long as he obviously can't lift with that arm, but he can do everything. It's not like it's a knee injury. We have to do other things. So he can be skating, do all that kind of stuff. So I think that this is different. I think he will be physically ready. It's just the touch that will have to come back. But we've heard it before. I feel that I'm very confident that he will be back and miss very little time, if any, as we go through this.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who gets some elevated opportunity with Zach Hyman potentially not hitting the start of the season. We don't know if he will. And again, he's not setting a hard time on it, but if he's not ready to go, Struds, it's going to be elevated opportunity. So we talked about Savoy in our first show. We've talked a lot about Ike Howard as well as a guy that potentially gets some opportunity there. Let's not count out the likes of Trent Frederick, who has shown he can put some goals in. He can play wing. The right side, he said he prefers. Potentially going to play some third-line center here as well. But who do you look to if game one and Zach Hyman isn't available for the Oilers? Who do you look to be in that top six that maybe people might not expect?
Yeah, I mean, this is a prime spot that's been Zach Hyman's for the whole time he's been here. Like, that's his spot. There hasn't been a rotation really. So, man, do they give it to one of the young guys? I could see them getting an audition through training camp. But maybe it's someone else, and I just go back to that day I was there before training, about a week ago, when Tomasic and Connor McDavid were kind of passing to each other, shooting one-timers. Like, I didn't expect that. I just was like, what's going on? That Tomasic can really shoot it. So does he get a chance to maybe, play up there? I mean, there's some other comments today about it, but I got a feeling that he can score, and maybe that's an opportunity. Now, can he dig pucks out? Because Zach Hyman goes and gets pucks, and that's definitely a job title, or part of the description that's underneath the job title, playing beside Connor McDavid.
Yeah, Gregor asked Stan Bowman today specifically about Tomasic. Let's get back to the Weiss Johnson sound box. Of course, brought to you by Weiss Johnson Heating and Air Conditioning. Their end-of-season AC sale is now on until the end of October. We tell you about it every year. Get up to 20% off any in-stock air conditioners. Remember the new website, WJJingle.com. That's WJJingle.com for exclusive specials just for our Got Your Back jingle lovers. WJJingle.com.
Weiss Johnson, whoa. We're proud to be local and family.
Stan Bowman on David Tomasic.
So I'm excited to see how David has looked very good in the captain skates, in which I try not to put too much positive or negative in that, but I think it does stand out when you watch him. He can shoot the puck. He can really, I'm not surprised that he led the Swedish league in goal scoring. He's got an knack for getting open. He's got the ability to get the puck off his stick quickly and in the net. So I think that's an intriguing option for us. But then the other side of it is, he's got that offensive flair. He could be a good winger for one of the top centers too. So I think we are going to see how that looks over the next 2 weeks here.
Okay, there it is. We're going to see how that looks over the next 2 weeks or so. He's the one that mentioned that he could be a winger. for one of the top 6 players. So they're not closing their mind to this, Struds. I don't think it's a guarantee even at this point in time that he's in the opening night lineup. I view this as something that could really go in any direction because you just never know how it's going to translate. Does he find the confidence? Does he not? I could see him anywhere from the press box to the American League to the second line to the fourth line center, because he likes playing center, and because he is that right shot. Really, like, throw a dart at the board, and wherever it lands, he could land in the lineup.
I think there's a huge opportunity for him to kind of right from the get-go establish what he is and what he can do. And I was actually surprised to hear today that, from Stan, that, they're looking at him as a center as well, because they single out it was himself, Lazar, and Philp that are, they didn't have a right shot centerman. Derek Ryan was there for a small time, but these other 3 guys, I was like, wow, because I thought he was here to be a complimentary player. So if that's the case, let's watch for the opportunities he gets in camp and in games. You can't have an offensive player playing with Jason Strudwick and Curtis Lazar and say, oh, he didn't score for us, or, oh, he didn't create offense. You have to give him players that have some kind of ability to play. So I was thinking if he gets an opportunity to see Connor and Leon, that's great. Beside him, that's great. But what about a line of Trent Frederick himself at center and then Henrique on the other side? Or, you put on one of the younger guys, like, give him players that are NHL players and see if what he can do and what he can show in that time. But to me, he's got a huge opportunity here, and he's got to stack good games and good practices on top of each other to make the case. I mean, the opening day roster is exciting, but to be an NHLer every day this year, so he can stay up and play with this group.
Always fun as a media member to get down there tomorrow. It's our first look at the rosters and our first look at some of the line combinations that they have put together. The coaching staff, new coaching staff, been sitting together. They got a whiteboard in that office somewhere, and on that whiteboard they have projected lines. I got mine sitting right over there. So they have one as well, Struds. More often than not, and I've seen this with Chris Knobloch, he tends to start with kind of what he's thinking, with what a lot of people are thinking might end up being the lines that stick, right? He did that last year. Different coaches will handle this different. Some coaches, it'll just be a complete blend, and then they'll work their way back to these pairings. But I feel with Knobloch, my gut is we'll see some stuff tomorrow where you go, okay, right from day one, why mess around? We're seeing some stuff here. Which do you prefer?
Well, let's look at what they have to see. They got to see Trent Frederick at center and at wing. They got to see David Tomasek at center at wing. They've got to see Savoy with probably 3 different centers. Ike Howard, probably with 3 different centers. So that's a lot of moving pieces. Now, with Zach Hyman out, it does help, and we don't know how long he's been out for. That does help. I didn't even talk about Mangiapane. He's got to be seen with different players as well. Like, there's a lot of things. So I hear what you're saying. They're going to say, okay, this is what we think is ideal. And start there. But don't be afraid to mix it up, because I think you want to see different combinations. And, we saw a ton of different combinations last year from this coaching staff, both on forward and D. But there's so many interesting parts. Curtis Lazar, like, I don't expect him to play up higher than the 4th line. But can he play center? Janmark on the wing. What does that all fit together? Max Jones is in there. Like, there's a lot of guys that we don't really know a lot about and how it all fits together. So don't be stuck. I guess what I'm saying here, Sugar, don't get stuck, Knobloch, on your lines. I want to see different line combinations. And Stan Bowman said they want to as well. So I'll have to take him for his word.
I think we'll see them moving some stuff around. We'll see guys with different opportunities here and there. I think it'll look good. Contracts. A little bit of conversation about contracts and such. Can they get something done before McDavid gets done? And again, Ray Ferraro coming up here shortly. And we'll talk about the Connor McDavid situation. Stan Bowman kind of saying that doesn't necessarily get in the way of getting those other deals done. At the same time, I think they want to know what it looks like and what McDavid's number looks like before you can truly lock in all of the guys that could potentially sign right now. But there's some guys want to be here, right? Jake Wallman asked today as we go back to the Weiss Johnson soundbox about his situation.
Yeah. Well, I can I can tell you that I'm very appreciative to be in this position. Kind of been brought in last year to play a role, and I can tell you one thing, that I enjoy the city. I enjoy playing hockey here, and I think that it's most importantly a great fit for myself, and hockey wise and family wise. I think my family loves that I'm in a Canadian market now, and I've enjoyed my time here. So that's what I know for sure. I enjoy being here, and the hockey's great. So
Now, Chris Knobloch talking about the blue line.
We're very optimistic about our defense as a whole. Everybody feel that we got a great unit that can play as well as any group in the NHL, and Jake being a big part of that, and also Jake being the flexibility of him being able to play the left side, right side. But I think it's really important to try and keep him on one side as much as possible, and that'll probably be on the right side.
Probably with Darnell Nurse, Struds. That's the gut feeling here. Knobloch alluded to that a little bit. Makes sense for those two to try and get some time together, build that chemistry. Walman wants to play. He's good playing either side. He just wants to be consistent, right? Wherever he plays, sounds very willing. We know he's able to play that right side. That could be an important addition for Darnell Nurse through the course of a season, to have a player like Walman there with him consistently.
This blue line today is better than it was day one of training camp last year. That there's no doubt about it. And you talk about Walman. We'll talk about the what we know Stetcher can do now, what we saw with the movement of Emberson. Like he got better. You know, he's not a finished product, but he got better. And then some of the other depth pieces they have. This is a really good line, a really good group of 6, 7, 8. Like you're getting pretty deep there. So this needs to be a really important part of the group that moves the puck and gets transitioning up the ice, defends well, all that stuff. So he's 100% right. And I would keep Walman on the right side the whole year. Say, buddy, you're playing the right side unless we run into some significant injuries. And to me, significant injuries is Ekholm or Nurse out. But even then Kulak moves up, and you have to be one more. So you're looking at 2 lefty coming out of the lineup before he would move back to the other side, he being Waldman.
Got to think that extension is going to be in the 5 to 6 range, I would guess.
Got to sign him. Got to get it done. You have 3 D-men, get all free agents at the end of the year, and I think all would have a lot of suitors. I can't get into the getting to free agency, the playoff trips these guys have had, the way they've played. Ekholm's getting a little bit older, but I think all 3 need to be done. Now there'll be different terms, but all 3 have to be done. I would say as soon as you can.
Yeah. Okay. So we have to have the conversation about Connor McDavid. We're going to do with Ray Ferraro. We'll hear what Stan Bowman had to say today. McDavid also talking on Friedman's podcast yesterday. Some interesting comments there. We'll go over all of that. We'll check in with Ray Ferraro. That was our breakdown, though, brought to you by our friends over at the Canadian Brew House. Short break. We'll be right back here on Got Your Back, presented by Timber House Developments.
Considering a vinyl fence, don't be fooled by cheap marketplace imitations. Get top quality vinyl fence from a trusted company with 20 years in the industry. With locations in Calgary and Edmonton, check out dlrvinylproducts.ca.
Mainline Water and Sewer specializes in sewer line repair and replacement using advanced trenchless methods for fast, clean results. They provide detailed sewer assessments and scoping to identify problems before they become costly. Serving both residential and commercial properties, no job is too big or too small, and with over 40 years of experience, they've seen it all. Trust Mainline to keep your lines flowing smoothly. Whoa, it's an aggressive remix. Time now for takeaways, brought to you by HSE Core Services. From creating and managing safety programs to audits and those required contractor registries, HSE Core keeps your business compliant so you can keep on working. They take care of all those annoying details you know they need to be dealt with, HSE Core Services gets it done for you. That's HSECOR.com. Welcome back to HSE Core Services, to Season 5 of Got Your Back. And welcome to Ray Ferraro. We're so lucky to have you, Ray, before the first episode of the Ray and Dregs Hockey Podcast drops tomorrow. I jumped the gun and wanted to get you on, and you had a special visitor tonight, buddy.
I did. First of all, I feel like a hostage. I was forced to be here.
Yeah.
And
I am the boss.
I'm here under duress. I got to say, Zuby shows up, everything works, right? Until it doesn't. This is the thing. I think Zuby's brilliant, right? Like, he gets stuff done.
Yep.
When you walk in the door of this house, all of your technical ability is outside. It does not, nothing comes in. So whatever
vortex.
he brought here, it's unbelievable. Whatever he brought here, it doesn't work. It's in his bag. It's on the way back to Cologne.
So here's the background on this, Struds. So we got trying a new technical setup for Ray in his home studio for the Ray and Dregs Hockey Podcast. And so Zuby happened to be in Vancouver doing some work. We're like, hey, we got some new gear for Ray. Go over, get him set up, right? Well, Randine and I visited Ray 2 years ago to do this very same thing. We walk in the door. We had all this equipment. I left with all that equipment because none of it worked. It is legitimately a black hole of technology inside this house. So Zuby shows up tonight to do the same thing. He's bringing all the gear back to Kelowna with him because nothing works, Struds. Like, you're not great with the technical stuff, Struddy. Ray is on another planet in terms of not being, he needs so much help.
It's staggering. Like, it can't be this hard. Like, it can't be, except nothing works. And we're also in the process. 3 weeks ago, our basement flooded. I don't know if you guys have ever had anything like that. Yikes.
Miserable.
I don't recommend. Yeah, brutal. So
maybe you should upgrade your computer from a Commodore 64, maybe up to something, Apple IIe. Do they have those at garage sales in Vancouver?
I don't even know. If you asked me, I know I have an Apple computer, but if you asked me what model, no, I'd tell you a gray one.
He doesn't know that was a burn, Struds. He doesn't even know that was a chirp.
I apologize.
I do remember the Commodore 64. Hey, look there.
Flew over his head.
Zippy over there on my left. You just host the show and leave the other stuff for Struddy, would you?
Yeah. Hey, how many rounds of golf, Ray? And how's the handicap?
50 today. I played my best round of the summer. Maybe my best round in, 5 years. And I shot 74 today. And a birdie and 3 bogeys. And it could have been better. I'm so excited to play Friday because what could go wrong? I'm sure I'll be better Friday, right?
Yeah.
Right.
You'll for sure have a great round 2 days in a row, Ray. That'll for sure happen.
Yeah, it'll be, I've had a great summer of golf. We've had a great family summer. We got our son Riley off to Penn State where he's playing soccer. And we went to Europe to watch our younger guy, Reese, play in a soccer tournament. And, Cammy's back at work and, everybody's, revving up for the season. I mean, it's time to go.
Right on. Okay, well, let's get down to some Edmonton Oiler chatter, shall we? We saved the Connor McDavid talk for your segment, Ray. You're welcome. Stan Bowman answered some questions today about it. One of the ones that stood out, he was asked about, what would you say to the Oiler fan out there that's super stressed out right now? What would you say to them to kind of put them at ease, let them sleep a little bit better at night? Stan did his best here, but this isn't a lot of solace for the frustrated, worried Oiler fans.
It's hard. I get it. I understand that. There's a lot of anxious or anxiety, whatever the word is, anxiousness. And I think I trust what Connor says. I mean, really, at the end of the day, when Connor says there's nothing that he wants more is to win in Edmonton, I believe him. I don't know why anyone else wouldn't. Like, he's been consistent in saying that, and I love hearing it when he says that's his singular focus is to win in Edmonton. So
Okay. Yes, Connor McDavid wants to win in Edmonton, Ray, but that's not the question. The question is, does Connor McDavid think he can win in Edmonton past this upcoming season? He's expressed a lot of confidence in the group. He really has for 25-26. Here's a quote from him. All the pieces are here for 25-26. It's going to be a feeling. When the time's right, the moment's right, it'll just be a feeling. He also said, I think people just kind of assume that things are going to happen, and it just goes to show that not everybody knows exactly what's going on. My wife and I obviously love being here in Edmonton, and we have every intention to win here in Edmonton. I have all the faith in the world in the 25-26 season. And beyond that, still remains to be seen. This is about past this year, Ray.
I mean, there's so much to try and unpack. The first part is anything we think we know, we don't. It's in Connor's mind, and it's in the discussions he has with him and his wife. My understanding is it doesn't really expand much past that. Like it's not like his agents have a great feel for what's going on. Everything is really tight. And there are some real parallels to what you hear and from what you hear from Sidney Crosby in Pittsburgh. And two players that couldn't have more respect, more integrity, and nobody really has a feel. Like I would be, personally, I would be surprised if Sidney Crosby finishes the year in Pittsburgh because they're just at that bottom end of the rebuild, right? They're not even really coming out of it yet. And so does he want to play ages 37, 8, and 9, and then that's it in Pittsburgh? Or does he want another chance to win? He's the only one that will know that. We can all speculate and think. And it's the same with McDavid. Let's be honest. If Connor was going to sign an 8-year extension, it would be done. If he was going to sign a 3-year extension, it would be done. Because this is not a negotiation in the sense like Struddy and I would, they would offer, we would counter offer, and then there'd be some muddling around, and then you'd get a deal done or not, right? This deal is all on the player because they're of the stature that they are. If Connor wants to sign, he'll sign. If he wants to take this into next summer, what are the Oilers going to do? Like, what can you do? We're in an era now where for the first time, NHL players with the rising cap are going to have the opportunity, if you're of a certain level of player, to pick where you want to live and play. Because that's not been the case for decades. Like, look, I live in Vancouver. What do you think the first topic was at the first day of camp today? Not about the team. It's about Quinn Hughes. And he's a year away from getting to a contract. And the Canucks can sit there with the bag open, and it's up to Quinn. Like eventually, Quinn, who's very tight-circled, much like Connor is in Edmonton, he'll make the decision one way or the other. I'm going to stay or I'm going to go. And then the Canucks have to pick up the pieces and do the best they can in a deal, or open the bag up and let him grab whatever he's going to grab. And it's the difference with Edmonton, of course, is there's 82 games in the playoffs left of Connor's contract. Yeah. And then that's it. Quinn has this year and then next year too. So there, it's different in that sense.
Ray, for his teammates, coaches, is it a distraction? How
much? It's a distraction today and tomorrow. And then Struddy, unless you're in the circle of the tight guys that go out to dinner, it's not like somebody was walking up to or sitting next to Connor in the room and going, hey, are you going to sign today? Like, nobody talks about it. We talk about it way more than the guys. The guys, I would say, this will be a generalization. Nobody talks about it. Because what are you going to do? You're going to ask him and he's going to tell you? Like, that's just not the way it works. Now, maybe he's got maybe Leon's a confidant to his, and they would discuss that. But I'm guessing probably not. And Leon would if he's that guy in Edmonton, as his tightest connection, he probably is not asking. You just let it play out on the term of the player. So I don't think it's as big a distraction. Now, where it may become more is if the team doesn't have a great first 50 games, then maybe it becomes more of a distraction because it'll be impossible to separate the team's record from, where the contract might be with Connor.
Connor has talked a number of times, and I give him credit. A lot of guys in this situation, Ray, they get back to town and they're like, I'm not talking about it, talk to my agent. They just shut it down, right? We've seen high-profile players take that tack. Connor has not done that. He talked to the assembled media for captain skates, which, by the way, they don't have to do those. Those captain skates availabilities are a courtesy. He did it anyway. Talked to Spec the one day and me on the same day. Just did Friedman's podcast. Connor McDavid is not dodging this in any way, shape, or form. He is not shying away from it. The Edmonton Oilers are not. He's speaking to the fans. He's speaking to people. But, Ray, the fans listen to what he says and what he said to Elliot yesterday. They're just not finding the solace that they're really, really looking for. And the truth is it might not be there. He may well go into this season without a contract. But he is adamant that it doesn't need to be a distraction, that none of the players in that room should play poorly because they got to answer questions from Ryan Rishaug or Mark Spector or whoever about Connor's contract. There's the outside bubble where it will be loud, but it doesn't need to be inside that room, does it?
It shouldn't, and it won't be. And I think there are two completely different things to think about. One is the contract and however that's going to play itself out. And again, that's not on the Oilers' timetable. Like that's on Connor's timetable. I'm sure the Oilers are sitting there and they're like, yeah, door's open. And when the time feels right, as he said, a feeling, then maybe that contract gets done. His play is completely different because I think there's and this is a similarity, I think, with him, McKinnon, Crosby. I think there's and McKinnon I'd put in third place of the three of them, but almost a single-mindedness to the game, to the play. Like I just, man, I'll be stunned if he doesn't get 120 or 130 points. Like I just think he's so amazing, and he's so much the most dangerous, productive player. I don't think the contract's got anything to do with the way he will play. And I don't think why the hell would it matter to Zach Hyman or Leon Draisaitl or like why would Connor's contract affect them? Are they going to try harder? No, of course not. Yeah. Man, if I'm an Oiler fan, I'd be nervous too because it's not done. I'd be nervous until there's a press conference. Like what makes you super confident? Because Connor's been really consistent and really really committed to the fact that he wants to win in Edmonton, and he's talking about this year. But none of that makes me think, if I'm an Oiler fan, oh yeah, he hasn't found the right pen to sign the deal with. Like it's more, there's clearly more there. Yeah, it clearly is, right?
Yeah. Kayla Weethorn says Connor not having a contract might put a little more fire under the other players to play their best. This season might be the best chance they have at the Cup for the rest of their career. That coming in from Kayla Weethorn on the Weiss Johnson YouTube stream. That was a good conversation, and we'll continue to have them about McDavid until this deal gets done, but also nice to focus on a little bit of training camp stuff tonight as well. That was Takeaways brought to you by HSE Core Services. Ray, we have a segment that we do on the show every night. Normally Brownie joins us, wasn't available tonight, so happy you jumped in. It's called Struddy's World.
Hey-o.
And this segment is where Struds just gets to babble on about whatever he happens to be. Are you game to stick around and try one of these episodes of Struddy's World?
Well, I just need to hear what's in that world. I want to listen. I'm sure it's well thought out. It's well planned.
Oh yeah. Wait till you see this intro. Steve, roll the intro. Watch this.
When you make a mistake, heads should roll. It's not right. And I'm here. Someone has to put their foot down. Now that I say it out loud, it does sound a little crazy.
God, I look good.
For Struddy's World, brought to you by one of our newest partners here on the show, Batty Realty at Royal LePage AR Team Realty. Becoming a homeowner is one of life's most liberating milestones, offering pride, freedom to make it your own, and the chance to build lasting equity. Buying a home is a big decision, and the team at Batty Realty guides clients through the complex process, expertise and care, and all kinds of support, even after the keys are handed over. Their clients say they truly make you feel like the only client they have. Visit battyrealty.com. That's BHATTI realty.com. And a big welcome to Harm and his great team to the Got Your Back team as well. Struddy, take it away, big guy.
I'm always amazed at what elite athletes go through to play their sport. You know, you look at the NFL right now, there's guys already week 2. They've got sprained ankles, turf toe, all these different things. In the Stanley Cup finals, we've seen athletes like Doug Waite lift the Stanley Cup as high as they can when they have a separated shoulder. It's amazing. Well, the other day I got to witness greatness as well. I was out golfing with a couple friends of mine, and one of my partners got up to the first hole and said, guys, I'm walking with a limp. I'm like, guys, see that? I hurt my groin golfing. I'm sorry, what happened? He's doubled down. He said, I hurt my groin golfing. I've been golfing so much, I've hurt my groin. I'm not sure when I come across for some reason, it tweaks it. So this guy who at one time claimed to be an elite athlete has a bad groin, and I believe it still needs some work, some little birds have told me. So Ray, if you're not sure what I'm talking about, it's Ryan Rishaug. He could barely play a round of golf because he had a bad groin. He injured while golfing and had to actually take his Ryder Cup tournament match out of his thing. He withdrew 4 hours before the Ryder Cup at his local course because of the bad groin. Warrior, Ryan Rishaug.
Struddy, there was a time we got into a little debate. I was on an Edmonton radio show, and I believe I called Ryan a 6'3" pile of Charmin. And so this story really fits in there. You know, like it really ties itself well. What a gamer, Ryan. Oh, yeah. Are you okay? Is that is that the appointment you were at, by the way?
Yeah, it is actually.
No,
he said it was his. He said it was his back. Are you kidding me?
It's all related.
I didn't want to say my groin. I didn't. So we had a Ray and Dregs production meeting planned, and I screwed up the time and said I got to be in an appointment, and I think I said it was for my back, but really it was for my groin. But I didn't want to tell them about the groin. Yeah, I didn't want to, because then I'd get chirped about another injury, and I didn't want to tell them about the groin. So Struds, you've outed me now. Yes, that was.
Well, how bad is your swing? How bad is
well, here's the thing. So I have a very athletic swing, and when you send it the way I do, like I don't hold back, right? I swing like I got the spongy joints of a 19-year-old because I'm committed. And so at 48, it can be a little bit, I get some tweaks here and there. And so 40 rounds of golf this year has taken its toll, high-level golf, Struds. And so I got a bit of a tweak. I went and saw, look, the Bridge is a great partner of ours, sports physiotherapy. I'm going to get in there. They're going to go to town on this thing and fix it up. But if you're going to go all in the way I do when I'm out there, Ray, you're going to pick up some injuries, man. That's just the way it goes.
It's not rugby. You're not running 10 kilometers in a soccer game.
No.
He
rides a cart.
You're playing golf. You're playing golf.
Yeah. I've walked like 3 rounds this year. I've driven all of them and still have a groin injury.
You're kidding, right?
No, I'm serious.
No. I mean, let me just give you a sense of his swing. His swing reminds me of a sloth attacking a mango. Like it's just.
Screw you, Strud.
You know what,
that
Struddy?
was
Now
good.
I was worried about what I was going to do later tonight. It looks like I'm going to YouTube to find sloth attacking mango
Attacking a mango.
and just see what it looks like.
Oh boy, oh boy. All right, that
I'm-
was Struddy's World, brought to you by
Struddy,
Harmon
I need to come back
Batty
and hear another
Realty.
one.
Yeah,
I
I've
need
got
to hear
lots
another
of
one.
these. They're all gold, Ray. They're all gold. Call me sometime.
Yeah.
I'll tuck you in at night.
Yeah, wait till he
Oh,
gets
this
going
is-
about his lawn care routines, Ray. Like the
Oh.
numbers on our pod just go brrrr.
Elite.
Some of these Struddy's World. So I was looking at cranberry sauce the other day, thinking like it goes so far off the rails.
Okay, can I ask a question? Are you able to cut your lawn with this groin injury?
I have
His
teenage kids and 20-year-olds, and I haven't cut my lawn in like a year or two. I
His
have
wife
little
does it.
humans that are here for that. What's that, Struts?
You know what?
His wife cuts it.
She
There's
does.
another thing to this too. I think we got to
That's confirmed.
we got to consider, Ryan.
Yeah.
How about a little exercise?
Oh, don't get it.
Look, that's part of the injury, right? I'm going hard. I'm going hard.
too
I'm
hard.
trying to keep things tight. So that's part of where the injury came from, Ray, if you do need to know. Along those lines, Ray, we did have somebody chiming in here, Kayla Weethorn, on the YouTube stream says, I didn't know Ferraro was that ripped, and then with a muscle emoji. So whatever shirt you got going on today, buddy, it's Kayla is all about it. It's
It's a Lululemon shirt, Ryan, I am on it. I am at my age. If you're not, you start falling apart. Pieces just
Sexy
fall
man.
off down the street.
Yeah.
Thanks, Struddy. I appreciate that. I like it.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Groins,
I'll take it.
Groins tear off. Groins tear off when you swing as hard as
me and Matthias Ekholm. Right? Going hard. Sometimes injuries happen.
Yeah, similar
Ray
injuries,
Ferraro,
and I
conditioned.
no, I'm not leaving on that. I'm not leaving on.
Oh, okay.
I am. You and Matthias Ekholm's similarities are that you have feet.
Yeah,
And,
you
and
both breathe.
that's
Ray
all we got,
Ferraro,
man.
ladies and gentlemen, the best conditioned 70-year-old broadcaster in North America.
yeah.
Ray, the Ray and Dregs Hockey Podcast ready to roll tomorrow morning. Always lots of fun with Dregs. I'm looking forward to season 7 on Ray and Dregs.
And nothing but positivity towards you. You're on tomorrow with us. Nothing but positivity. Dregs has been
sure
off
this won't come up.
in the cabbage for 3 months talking to, I don't know, pike, fish, or whatever he's doing. He'll
Black
be ready
bears.
for you tomorrow. Oh, he'll be ready for you tomorrow.
I'm going to get torn to shreds tomorrow, Ray. We'll see you first thing in the morning, buddy. Thanks for taking some time tonight.
See you, buddy.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks, Struddy. Ryan, we'll see you. Take care, guys.
All right, see you, pal. The great Ray Ferraro checking in on season 5, episode 2 here. I've got your back. Always love hearing from Ray. Struds, it's not great for me when he's on because you and he share a deep, passionate love for making me look like a complete ass.
Yeah.
So it can be a little bit debilitating for me, but he's good content.
Yeah. So you text me earlier, said, "Hey, do you have a lighter side for the show?"
God.
And I was like, "Yeah, I've got one." You said, "Then it's like Ray's coming on." Oh, I've got one. So I changed it. I had another. So I have a few fun ones. And I'm like, "Oh, this is the one I want. This is the one I knew he'd appreciate it."
I love it. We're behind on a couple of segments here, so let's get some of our housekeeping done, shall we? Let's get to our relentless player of the day, Struds, and as always, that is brought to you by our fabulous charitable partner here on the show, UCAN Youth Services. If you need reliable entry-level staff, UCAN trains Edmonton youth with the skills and confidence to show up ready to work and to grow with your team. Learn more and make a change today at ucan.ca. Who's going to get a nod today, buddy?
You know what? I just think we should recognize a player here, Alec Regula. This guy has had a really tough stretch of injuries. And here we are on the evening before, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe he is fit, able, and ready to start his career with the Oilers. Now, I have a hard time envisioning
so. That's
him.
what I've heard. Yes.
Yeah, I have a hard time envisioning him starting with the Oilers because he hasn't played. Like, it feels like he's been an Oiler for 2 years and he hasn't played at all. So I know it hasn't been that long. But anyways, I give the guy credit for sticking around. He got the deal. And I think Oilers fans, he's a player you should watch or keep an eye out on. I'm guessing he starts in the minors, but Stan Bowman spoke pretty glowingly about this guy and what he can do for a team at 6'4" and play different roles. So Regula is my relentless player for sticking around this long.
Yeah, grinding through it in the summer and fighting through that injury all of last year. And now this is a couple times Stan Bowman has brought him in to the organization that he's been running. So some curiosity here if the guy gets some games. I think if the Oilers get an injury or two deep, he maybe plays his way through the rest down in the American Hockey League and becomes one of those guys that's ready to come up right away. But one of those players that we'll be keeping an eye on as training camp gets underway. Also, Steve-O, you should hop in here, buddy, and we should get to our YouTube poll brought to you by DeBoer's Golf Shop and Fitting Center. Now is the best time to get yourself fitted. Your swing is at your best. Fall clearance is on. Huge savings on apparel and footwear now. Go down to 5311 99th Street here in Edmonton. Go see the great crew at DeBoer's, right? Everyone's swinging it well right now. It's a great time to get fitted deep into the season. So go see the crew at DeBoer's. Steve, what do you got, buddy, for a poll tonight?
Okay, so we are asking about Tomasek in the poll. Brought him up a little bit earlier, and the question simply is, how many games will he play this season? Will it be 0 to 15, 16 to 30, 31 to 50, or 51 plus?
Okay. Struds, is he going to be a regular? Is he on the team this season? Is he going to be up with the big team the whole year?
Well, you really nailed it earlier. He's a complete wild card. Like, I have no idea, like the type of play. Well, I think I know what kind of players, but can he do it at this level? And can he find a role? I have him, I think it was C. I jotted down 31 to 50. I think they're going to give him a chance. I think it sounds like they like his skill set and what he can bring to the team and play some center. So I think they value flexibility. And for that reason, I believe he does get 31 plus. Shoggy?
It's funny. I think he'll be in that range too. I don't know if he'll get 50 plus. A lot of times these players come over from Europe and they've got good stats over there and they were scorers and they got a little bit of grit in their game and that stands out. And it just, for whatever reason, doesn't quite translate. Part of it's going to be how the feet are. How does he get around out there? If he can maybe get some offensive confidence going, few good things that happen early for him. More often than not, I feel like it doesn't quite translate to the level that the hope and the hype pegs it at. But maybe it'll be different with this guy. And Stan Bowman has put the work in. They were happy when they got him. And I think he is going to get a good opportunity. It'll depend on some other guys too. It'll depend. Like, how does Curtis Lazar look? How do some of these other players look? You know,
but I think we know what Lazar is.
Look?
Like, don't you think that? We know what Lazar is. This guy, you have no idea. So he can write his story, right? Like, Lazar's not going above the fourth line, you know? But this guy's a wild card. He could be anywhere. And I think the team is excited to see what he can do.
We'll go back over the results in our Ask Us Anything segment. No Rob Brown tonight, but that does not mean that we do not have Brownie points, because this crew has teamed up to bring you Brownie points, and that is brought to you by the Alberta Ram dealers. The 2025 Ram 1500 is Motor Trend's Truck of the Year. Yeah, if you didn't see our season opening show, how about this animation the guys put together? From the beautiful brain of Rob Brown, we bring you Brownie points. Visit your Alberta Ram dealer to get into this award-winning truck at a competitive price. It is capable, it is stylish, it is powerful. Check this thing out. Ram, beautiful on the inside. The interior is fantastic. That nice big screen. My brother drives one of these things, man. Every time I get into it, I'm like, oh. Soon as I'm turning my truck over, going to one of these things. Okay, boys, let's get to some Brownie points. I'm going to start off here. We're each going to do a couple. Steve, did you grab a couple too? Or did you take that homework assignment too? Or is it just Struds and I?
Oh, I've got one anyway.
You got one anyway? Okay, we'll come to you next. I'm going to start. I'm giving 97 Brownie points, Struds, to Jack Michaels. And here's why. So we have an Oiler media golf tournament yesterday. The brass and the staff of the team golfs and all the media is there. It was a really, really fun day. Rob Brown and I on the same team. Slav Kornick from Global was there as well. We golfed with Keith Gretzky. Wonderful day. Stan Bowman and his team actually ended up winning. Stan Bowman, Jeff Jackson, Jason Gregor end up winning that thing. And who was their fourth? I can't remember their fourth right now. Anyways, doesn't matter. So at the end of the event, we have a dinner, and then we do a hot stove where Jack is hosting the hot stove, and it's Stan, Jeff Jackson, and Chris Knobloch. Now, normally, you keep it pretty friendly, this hot stove, right? They're kind of off the record with the media, but it's a little kibitzing behind the scenes. And I'm wondering, what's Jack going to do here? Like, there's some pretty poignant questions that need to be asked. Struds, he didn't even blink. First question, Stan, we're not going to beat around the bush. What's the latest on Connor McDavid? Just a fastball at a media tournament and hot tail. And
I love it.
And Stan answered the questions. He was great. Jack did a fantastic job, but I'll give the guy credits. On a hot stove, Jack Michaels was not messing around, went right at it with Stan Bowman, and Stan had a laugh, and it was a great exchange.
All right, this is definitely
this
is definitely Brownie's thing and Zuby's thing a lot more than mine, but I feel like Brownie would have given the Toronto Blue Jays some love. So 27 Brownie points to Canada's team. They're currently 27 games over 500, solidly in the first place in the American League. So yeah, congrats to the Blue Jays and all the Blue Jays fans out there.
I'm going 100 points. 100 points to the general manager, Steve Staios of the Ottawa Senators, and their head coach, Travis Green. They did not sidestep when asked about their expectations for the year. Although they didn't get into what they are, they said, we're not just here to make the playoffs. We're here to do a lot more than that. And I love that they just got in front of it, confronted it. They said it to their players. They said it to their fans, and they said it to the media. This is the next step. So now everyone, those are expectations when the team plays, and they're out there for everyone to consume. It's not internal. This is consumed by everyone. And I love that step by those two trying to turn around a franchise.
I'm going 100 Brownie points to our boy Zuby, who went into the Lions' den today, stepped into the Ferraro household with intentions of figuring out some technical stuff. Didn't work out. Was a disaster. But he went in there and he did his best. And I've been in that position before. It's not easy. Ray doesn't have a clue how anything works. Doesn't know his own Wi-Fi password. Can't figure out. He is no help at all. He just stares at you, waiting for you to get it fixed. It's a high-pressure situation. Zuby went into the belly of the beast today and failed, but he went into the belly of the beast. We will still have a Ray and Dregs hockey podcast, just not with the elevated audio experience we were hoping from Ray Ferraro.
And just like, I mean, we all know Zuby does this, but you know, he did the last episode and then he goes, sends me a text at like 2 a.m. with a bunch of new stuff about this season's pod, and then catches a plane to Vancouver. You know, he's had a camera in his hand all day. The last thing he wants to do is drive to Ray's house and figure out tech issues. And then of course,
on the tail end of
like
36 hours of work. Exactly.
What a beauty.
All right, Struddy, final Brownie point.
Bring it back to the Toronto Blue Jays. Blue Jays fans, their magic number is 6. If the Blue Jays win 6 or the Yankees lose 6 or any combination thereof, they will win the American League East. I'm sitting here, I can't believe it. I am a part-time Blue Jays fan, but this team is lovable, likable, and they work hard and play for each other. They're so much fun to watch. Just a handful of games left. One more against the Rays tomorrow. But if you haven't watched this team, watch this team play. They play for each other, and they're just so likable. I love this team. So magic number of 6 for the Blue Jays.
All right, and that was Brownie Points, brought to you, as always, this season by the Alberta Ram Dealers. Brownie will be back tomorrow night, by the way. Going to rock a pod tomorrow night, probably in the 9 o'clock range, after the Oilers are on the ice for the first time tomorrow, and Brownie will be back with us. Steve, do you want to just throw both commercials into this break?
Sure.
And we'll just do one break?
Let's do
and
it.
then when we come back, we will take a lap and do Ask Us Anything in our play of the day as well. So one quick commercial break here. Tons more content. You got her dialed in to Got Your Back, presented by Timber House Developments.
For over 60 years, Belvedere Golf and Country Club has delivered a high-quality membership experience to Edmonton and area. And now it's even better. Drainage and irrigation improvements in 2024 have taken course conditions to a new level. This commitment to long-term sustainability means exceptional playing conditions all season long. Belvedere's tee sheet availability is unmatched, so join now and experience golf the way it was meant to be played, on your schedule. Visit BelvedereGCC.com today.
So at Timberhouse, our guiding philosophy is naturally inspired living. We believe that through design, we can solve problems and enhance people's lives. We follow biophilic design principles in all of our builds to incorporate natural materials, natural light, to enhance all the spaces in a home. When you have your space perfectly reflect who you are and what you value, and it's made well, we think that that just leads to better living.
All right, time now to take a couple of laps, brought to you by The Bridge Physiotherapy. Rehabilitation at The Bridge offers a comprehensive approach extending beyond temporary pain relief, focusing on developing long-term strength and resilience to support an active lifestyle like mine. What sets The Bridge apart is the fully integrated model. Physiotherapists, chiropractors, massage therapists, strength coaches, they all collaborate as a team. They got clinics in Edmonton, Sherwood Park, Lethbridge, St. Albert, The Bridge, providing accessible, team-based care across Alberta. Learn more at thebridge.fit. Gonna have to go in, see Karen. She did an amazing job on the arm, on the golf arm, and now it's the golf groin. And I'm just gonna have to suck it up and go get the needling done, Struds. The groin needling, but it'll be worth it. They know what they're doing over there.
It's the best.
I mean, and you know, everyone knows golf groin as much as they know tennis elbow. So there's no doubt that it's a very common injury, the golf groin.
Golf groin sounds more like a hygiene issue than an actual issue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's
like, I'm telling you, it's a thing. It's a thing.
It's an issue, all right. I don't want to tell you what kind, but it's an issue.
I'm going to let the Bridge attack the golf groin. Go ahead.
They got it. They got it. And we're speaking about injuries because Matthew Tkachuk today, Bill Zito, general manager of Florida Panthers, said he expects Tkachuk to be out till December-ish sometime. Yeah. So the big man will be out for a little while. Not a surprise. The injury he did suffer last year in the Four Nations Cup, played through it when he could in the playoffs. And then he's getting the work done now. So that's not a real shocker, but there's a little bit of a time frame now for him and his teammates and opponents to kind of work and figure out, I guess.
He's been an interesting study here this last year, and I wonder how the organization feels about this. So he goes to the Four Nations. I was there, Struds. He should not have been playing. Flat out, should not have been playing. We were watching him skating around out there going, this is an exhibition tournament. His season is on the line. But, I mean, I guess you respect the player. You let him grind through it. They let him grind through it. Well, the injuries were, I wrote it down here. They were significant. Torn adductor and a sports hernia, as well as golf groin from being out in Florida. Got that during the Four Nations and basically missed the rest of the season until the playoffs started. So now they're heading into an Olympic year, and he's not going to play till Christmas. He'll come back, play just long enough. Bill Guerin and company said they're planning on him being at the Olympics, just long enough to get back, Struds, and risk injury at the Olympics. And then, you know, how much does he play before the playoffs start? Like, this is a major asset of theirs.
It is. They obviously are comfortable with it, with that. And I mean, this is, you know, Tkachuk goes all out when he plays. He plays all out. And that's what you love about him. He's like a quarterback that runs and tries to get that extra yard on every play. Like, what you love about him can ultimately hurt him. And it hurt him. Luckily, it didn't hurt the team. They were able to win last year. But I'm sure they cringe, but they're like, all right, that's our guy. That's our horse. We're going to ride this guy. So I would expect, though, he's back. He'll be healthy. He'll play in the Olympics. And he'll be fine through that run for whatever playoff run Florida has.
All right, let's get to the Calgary Flames. Little extension for their Capitan.
Yeah, I like this. Michael Backlund gets a 2-year contract, around $3 and a bit million a year. This will take him as captain into the new building. You know, he expressed a desire to want to be here or be there in Calgary. And I think it's important to have that. Just, you know, someone clearly who's going to kind of oversee what they're trying to do here in Calgary. And hopefully they can find some more scoring. But 2-year extension for the captain in Calgary.
Pretty key piece. Captain taking him through into the new building. Hand off to another, what Flames fans are hoping will be a new era in Flames hockey. Reminds me a little bit of the tenure that Ryan Nugent-Hopkins has had with the Oilers. similar. I don't know. They feel similar in some ways. Struds, kind of games that are two-way in nature. I mean, Backlund in a little bit of a different way. Didn't necessarily have the high-end offense from Nugent Hopkins, but a guy that just understated, represents the organization well, seems to do everything the right way. Not a real loud guy that you see or hear a ton out of, but just really, really solid for a really long time.
Like a foundation piece of your franchise, right? He's and by that I mean you need those guys in the room. You need them on the ice. They do everything right in the community, within the dressing room. Like they're really good players. Stars, maybe not stars, but really, really good players. And that's the thing that's important. So, I mean, I don't see the next captain right now for the Flames, but you don't need one right now. You have this guy now for 3 years, and that gives you time to figure that out as you go through it. Lastly, just a quick little one about one of the best players in the league, David Pastrnak, is going to be practicing or skating, but not practicing with the team, the Boston Bruins. Apparently, he's got some tendonitis. He'll be skating just for a couple days on his own, then rejoin the team. So nothing serious. But whenever I hear really good players coming into camp and not practicing the team, I just get a little jumpy because you're like, well, why? Why is he not with the team? But it sounds like it will be okay in the long term, just short term, just a precaution.
All right, that was taking a couple of laps around the league, brought to you by The Bridge Sports Therapy and Training. I'm giving you a call. I'm coming in for the groin. One of the things we were going to do as part of their sponsorship, Struds, is we were going to take a little bit of video of me getting treated, especially the needling, because this is when it was my elbow. I agreed to this to shoot me getting the needling done for my golf elbow. Well, this groin thing is an entirely, I don't think I'm going to be having cameras in there while they're needling the groin. I don't think anybody wants that.
No, I think we can speak for everyone when we can say no. Thank you.
Well, we can blur some out. We can blur some of it out, right? Like, a little
Yes, we have the technology.
Yeah.
Did you say a little speck here?
No, I didn't. Did I say
All
that?
right. Yeah, you said I was Take a Lap. Take a Lap brought to you by The Bridge Sports Therapy and Training. It's a good thing Brownie doesn't listen to the show because he'd be dying laughing at that one if he was. Okay, let's get to Ask Us Anything. Great stream tonight. We appreciate it. Like, training camp hasn't even started. Here everybody is jumping in and engaging. We love the live audience here on Got Your Back, so thank you so much for joining us. Send us your questions if you have some here on the stream. Steve is taking those. It's brought to you by BJ Electric Supplies, an Edmonton-based independent electric wholesaler offering a wide range of products, lights and lighting controls and wiring accessories, control and hazardous products, and you name it, they probably have it. Serving electrical contractors working in the oil and gas sector in the province, commercial, residential, OEM sectors as well. BJElectric.ca is the website. Big thanks to BJ Electric for coming back on the pod this season and partnering with us. Okay, Steve, I saw one about Robert Redford, and we should get to that one, Steve. I don't know if you saw that one or not, but JL throwing that one in there, Steve-O.
Yeah, so JL simply asks, what is your favorite Robert Redford movie? Obviously, Robert Redford passing away at, how old was he, like 90?
I don't think he was, I think he was 80,
89,
88, 89, something like that. He was definitely in his late 80s. Now, my brother, Rob, was actually named after Robert Redford because I guess back in the day when my mom was way back in the day, I guess she kind of, that would have been her, that would have been her hall pass back in 1981, I would say back in the day. So Rob, my brother, was named after Robert Redford. Little fun little fact there. Sorry if that's awkward, family that's listening.
You think that's awkward? He was my hall pass as well. If it comes to males, that's my guy. Like that, I think he is such a good-looking man. I remember my grandpa and I watched Butch Cassidy's Sundance Kid when I was really young. I'm like, God, is this guy good-looking, right? Like he is just an absolute stud. Then The Natural. So to answer his question, my favorite movie would be The Natural, followed by Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid. But amazing career. And from all reports, an amazing dad and husband and friend. Like from everything I read, he was an amazing cat. So yeah, just had an incredible life. Rest easy, Big Robert. I loved you, man. I loved all of his work.
Steve, you got one?
Yeah, I love the movie All Is Lost. You guys know All Is Lost? I think it was later in his career. It was just him on a boat for like 2 hours. There's nothing else in the movie. And spoiler alert, the boat gets a leak and you know, trouble ensues, but it's just him. And it's not like overacted. Like it's subtle. It's kind of how I think someone would actually act in that situation. And yeah, I mean, I love Robert Redford, but that movie's fantastic. Highly recommend.
He was in a couple of media related movies, and I really like movies that are about journalism. All the President's Men. Played Bob Woodward. That was back in the late 70s. He was in another one as well, Truth, in 2015, portraying Dan Rather. I just loved his presence in a couple of those media movies, but the ones you guys picked as well were fantastic. Yeah, he's a beauty. I actually just watched a series he was in not too long ago. It was on, I believe it was on Amazon. I can't remember the name of it. It was just released in the last couple of years. Might have been one of the last acting gigs that he had, and he was still quite good in it. So, legend, absolute legend. Donna Rishaug is in some mourning over the loss of Robert Redford. All right, what else we got, Steve?
All right, well, let's go to Zuby, because why not? What's he doing right now? He's asking questions on the stream. So Zuby comes in from YVR and says, what's a summer job that you completed around the house that you're particularly proud of? Anything you guys did this summer?
Struds?
Well, I redid my office, so we're sitting in it right now, and you know, we'd redone quite a bit of our house. This was something that had been touched, so I cleared everything out, filled holes, repainted it all, got it all cleaned up, built the new cabinets and all that, and now this is one of my favorite rooms in the house. I'm the only one that enjoys it. No one else comes in here, just me and my dog. But yeah, no, I was pretty happy with that one.
Very good. How about you, Steve?
Well, I'm in a new place, so I've got a white wall behind me, but I've got some paneling to go up. So as you can see, just behind me here, some acoustic paneling. So yeah, I had to do a full move. Like you guys, like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's been
like
busy,
the older
hey?
you get doing a move and renting trucks and stuff, it's just like, come on. So yeah, reorganizing stuff, putting stuff away in a kitchen. It was a big summer for that stuff for me.
Oh, okay. One sec here. I just got a picture. I'll show you guys a picture. So completely redid all of the storage units in the golf sim and just completely like reorganized and dialed the whole thing in big time. So I got those Gladiator storage. They're two of the big ones and then like four of the shelving units. That is an absolute game changer in the golf sim. So that was a couple of days of work, put them all together, total reorganization job. So I was really happy with that one.
Well done. Well done. Okay. Kayla comes in and says, is there a particular game on the schedule this season that you are looking forward to? Anything that gets you? What do you think, Struds? Shogger?
I'm going to like the Dallas matchups. No, straight up. I'm going to like the Dallas matchups. The ranting in stuff to me is just, I think it's so interesting. Dallas is such a good team. Dallas lost Edmonton again. They got something to prove. Ottinger versus Skinner. I just think it's always going to be such a great matchup against Dallas. I think they're going to be fighting at or near the top of the Western Conference. So Dallas for me is one that I circle and think those are going to be doozies.
Yeah, really well done. I'm going to go Toronto Maple Leafs because if Connor hasn't signed a contract prior to that, it'll just be, the noise is going to be off the hook. So just for the chaos of it in the media and fan world, that'll be crazy.
When you get on overdrive, you settle those guys down about the Toronto stuff. You settle down.
Yeah. He's something.
Okay, some stranger coming in and says, I want to see what a healthy Frederick can do this season. What are you guys expecting from Frederick?
So some center ice play. If he doesn't get looks with either of the big guys, and he's primarily a third line player, I think he'll probably be 12 to 14, 15, somewhere in there, Struds. I don't know if we're going to see him push 20. But if he actually gets some time up, if it works and he clicks with one of those guys, then it's a bit of that could be a bit of a game changer. Because I do think that with Hyman out early, maybe he ends up defaulting into that position. But I would say 12 to 15, and he'll be a guy that's over eager taking care of his teammates.
Oh, for sure. I think that we're going to see a much different version of him than we saw last year with the injury. A sprained ankle is no joke. If you've never had one, it is brutal. And just when you think you have it better, it tweaks you again. Two players I'm
right
really
up there with
looking at
golf groin.
Yeah, very serious. I'm keeping an eye on he and Paul Colson. Like, what can they produce offensively? Can they find a way for sure in Paul Colson's situation to finish and some more chances that he gets, especially if he's playing beside Leon. And then does Trent Frederick, does he work his way around the lineup? Like Stan said today, that he's going to be used in different situations, and they like his flexibility. So that tells me he's moving not just across lines, but up and down lines as well. So we could see him, all over the top. Maybe top. Well, who knows? 8 of the top or 7 of the top 9 positions. Obviously, not top 2 centers if those guys are playing.
I just wonder if we'll see him in that 3 center spot more than we would see Adam Henrique there. Gregor was talking about maybe Nugent Hopkins being there more consistently this year. I still think Nugent Hopkins lands in the top 6 next to McDavid or Draisaitl. I still think that's a natural fit for him. But Frederick at 3C would be interesting too if he can get things going a little bit. What do you got? Maybe one more, Steve? What do you got?
Well, Travis Farquharson. Sorry, Travis.
Give us the phonetics on that, Travis.
Sorry, one more time?
I'm not doing it one more time.
Farquharson?
I thought it would be
Farquharson?
Lord Farquaad? Lord Farquaad, go ahead.
Poor Travis. We love you, Travis. He just simply said, I'm completely satisfied with how the Oilers defense looks right now. This came at the end of a conversation on the stream where, a lot of conversations about who's looking good on D. What do you guys think? Like, Struds, what do you think about defense heading into the season this year in general?
Well, it's the best D they've had, under Connor McDavid's time here. Like, it's really good. It's a really good D. And they have a lot of depth. So I wouldn't anticipate them adding more to it. I don't think this is something they'll be looking to add to this year, assuming everyone maintains health. So any trades they're looking at as we get closer to the trade deadline would be elsewhere, which I think that's a good thing for the team. And they have the chance of bringing them all back again next year.
Yeah, I concur with all of that. That was Ask Us Anything, brought to you by BJ Electric Supply. Thank you so much. Oh, you got one more? Go.
No, sorry. I thank you to BJ Electric. Let's finish that sentence first, but we do have to wrap up the poll.
Yeah, of course, 100%. So, yeah, that was Ask Us Anything, brought to you by BJ Electric Supplies. We were asking about David Tomasek and the number of games that people see. Steve, where did it land, buddy?
Okay, so we asked how many games Tomasek will play this season, and it's very even across the board. So 28% of voters came in at 0 to 15. Next was 51 plus with 25%. 31 to 50 was 24%, and 16 to 30 was 23%. So very, very, very even poll, almost a quarter for each one.
All right, it gets started tomorrow. We'll see who they envision him starting on a line with tomorrow for day 1 of training camp. Let's wrap up the show as always with our play of the day, brought to you by Mainline Water and Sewer, your trusted choice for over 40 years, specializing in sewer line replacement and expert water line repair and placement as well. Slow drains are a sign it's time for attention, and aging lines can cause basement backups. Their trenchless method is quick, low impact, and often gets finished in a day, complete with backflow protection as well. Visit mainlinewaterandsewer.ca. Struddy, what do you got for a play of the day today, my friend?
Well, not all heroes wear capes. Today at the Blue Jays game, Mike Nora, the umpire, looked like he had a case of the runs. And so halfway through the first inning, he left the game, high-stepping off that field in a real hurry, if you know what I mean. And wasn't able to come back. So first base umpire Mike Estabrook put his cape on, went out the field, put his gear on. He became the umpire for the rest of the game and stood in for Brian O'Nora, who I believe had a case of the old Belvedere trots.
Now, had he returned to the game, he'd have been a candidate for relentless player.
Fair point. That's a bad case, man. He had a case of the trots. He was high. I've recognized that look when someone has to get out of where they're at in a hurry. Oh, so hopefully that's all it was, right? It sounded like
you
was good.
You have any issues on the bench ever, Struds? How did you manage that situation?
No,
Never.
No, not one time. Not one time.
In complete control all the time.
Complete.
I have a story about that actually. So we were doing Oilers' favorite restaurants when I was there, and I wanted Struddy to come and be on this video for a South Asian restaurant, an Indian restaurant in Edmonton. And it was the day before a game, and Struddy came to me and said, "Listen, man, I don't think I can do it. I have a game tomorrow."
Yeah.
I never even thought about that, but yeah, so
You can't roll the dice.
that's why.
And I like
That's
that
why.
kind of food. You just can't roll the dice like that the day before.
Yeah, and if you don't eat it regularly, to just dump it into your stomach and the day before a game, that was probably smart. Yeah. All right, that's enough of this chatter. Nice job on the show tonight, Steve. I know it's been a little while for you, but relatively seamless, my friend. Great work as always.
Thanks,
and
boys.
look forward to seeing you again soon.
You betcha. It was fun.
All right, Struds, we'll talk tomorrow night, buddy. Look forward to another episode of Got Your Back on Thursday night. Until then, we'll talk soon. This has been Got Your Back, a presentation of our title sponsor, Timber House Developments. We'll chat tomorrow, everybody. See ya.